Hey, so here we are in beautiful San Francisco, my joint favorite city in the world next to Cape Town. Today, I wanted to mention a couple of things. One was about the pricing at the moment, where it's at. I think we're really at the low resistance level, probably very close to it. You're probably shaking out all the weak hands, all the people who will never again be fooled by propaganda and FUD will be selling out, and pretty soon they'll realize how dumb that was, just as I did back in 2012 when I sold out, and then the price shot up further again. I made money on it, but it went up to, I think it was something like maybe $1,200. I think it went up to just after I sold out. I bought it for fuck all, but still, I was really gutted because I could have been an easy Bitcoin millionaire a lot younger, what was it, my mid-30s. So anyway, the propaganda media is just going to keep on trying. They've got a solid 3 years. I'm pretty sure the amount of money that these hoarding fucktards from the financial sector have amassed through robbing the rest of society, there's just so much wealth. There's $19 trillion of it. But how much of that is in their pockets? I'd say a lot of it. A big, probably lion's share. I don't really know if it's possible, even when the liquidity gets really high, I don't know if there's going to be a possibility. When you get to the stage that there becomes hyperinflation, because this is what's going to happen, it's a balancing effect. You basically have crypto down here, it's the media keeping it down, and you've got fiat currency up here. That's the media keeping it high, because it crashed 7 years ago. It actually crashed. At the stage when, not so much the US dollar, but when the British pound got equaled and then overtaken by Bitcoin, because that's the most valuable currency per unit in the world, that was the point where all fiat currencies actually not just crashed, they collapsed. The media never told us about it. They still aren't telling us about it. This happened years ago. I saw it years ago. This is why when I bought back into Bitcoin, and I think it was December 2013, I bought back into it again, and decided I will never sell out of it again. As everyone's going to go through the same learning curve. I think that learning curve will happen before the corporate controlled puppet media and the corporations want it to happen. I reckon it will probably happen midway through 2019. Your ultra douchebag skeptics, the ones who actually, they wouldn't lie to us, those skeptics, those fucking retards, they will finally wake up. You'll probably have fully diehard ones who'll be like, oh, it's an American dollar, it's the pound, like William Hague, save the pound, you'll have those fucking retards. The banksters are sitting there going, yeah, on you go, mate, you fight for us, fucking retard. Those people will be there till the end. They'll be there until they have nothing left, you know what I mean? And even then, they'll still try to defend their position as to why they fought for the establishment who doesn't give a fuck about them, right? So, I'm just going to lay it out because I want this to be on YouTube, because there'll be future things that come into play. There'll be different little manipulations like, for example, I'm sure in time, stellar lumens will become, probably take the place of Ripple. But Ripple is it for now. These fucking idiots who don't believe in that, you fucking idiot, or the scammers on the websites that I try to call out all the time that Facebook ignore and YouTube just don't even fucking respond to me. They facilitate it. They are, I will say again, I'll say in every fucking video, Facebook, YouTube, Google, the ultimate scam facilitators. Because the corporation puppet media know that most of the population in this world, they cannot reach through the old dinosaur media, right? Your CNNs and your other corporate media mouthpiece scumbags. So they know they need to rely on these globalized media platforms. And that's probably why Mark Zuckerberg got off so lightly, because maybe the I don't know if the true owners and the people who conceptualized Facebook, you know, the Winklevoss twins, if they would have actually condoned their platform being used as a corporate mouthpiece. I'm so glad they adopted crypto, because I know they're going to kick fucking Mark Zuckerberg's ass, little lizard freak face ass one day. Weirdo that he is. So I just want this to be on record to say, I told you so, ha! Because people need to sometimes, you don't really want to laugh in people's face all the time. Sometimes there's not a time to do that, but sometimes there is. And it's to remind people, remember last time you were a fucking retard who didn't listen to anything and thought you knew all the answers and believed the people who were lying to you and vehemently defended them. Well, this is happening again, because it will happen again. There'll be little tweaks, as I say, that the Stella Lumens thing, that'll happen. There'll be people that are falling on that bandwagon. No, they wouldn't lie to us. Nah, you're just butthurt because Bitcoin took you 0.0001% fucking dip. Because it's the sort of arguments that fucktards give me when I try to tell them, look, if you're in, I don't get shitty with people for investing in Ripple. I just tell them that you do understand that it goes against the principle of everything that crypto stands for. Right? And you do realize that crypto, as a vehicle to make money, exists because people like me, people who think like me, who fucking hate corporations, hate the control of this world that is in the hands of evil people, and try to do something about it. I'll keep repeating, I still think it was David Kleiman from Australia was Satoshi Nakamoto. I hope I get proved right one day, because I'm a bit of an egomaniac like that. The reason is because obviously Craig Wright hasn't got the fucking the nice to do it, but at the same time he's too egotistical. A person with that ego would not have been the sort of person who would be able to resist for even 3 years to say, oh, I'm Satoshi! No, he would have had to put his hand up. So it can't be him. And obviously he hasn't got access to that fucking whopping wallet with, what's it, 3 million bitcoins? Somewhere between 1 million and 3 million bitcoins that the untouched wallet has. That would have been spent by now when it shot up to 20,000, because that person would be the richest man in history, you know, as opposed to that little cunt from Ripple, who, I mean, that just goes to show you how disgusting Ripple is. A non-cryptocurrency, one of the founders becomes the richest man in America, either briefly or still, because everyone decides to invest in a currency and they don't look at the supply volume, which is the fucking obvious thing to look at, and why the US dollar is worth 4 cents of its original value, because of all the dilution that has taken place. Please wake the fuck up, people who do not understand this. So, I wanted to just explain and reiterate what is going on. What is going on is we are lied to about everything all the time, right? And if you don't understand that, and you think that I'm a tinfoil wearing hat person, and well, that'll be why I'm fucking financially free and don't have to give a fuck about answering to a boss, why I've travelled all over the world with my little son Brumbo here, and
about 1 mile,
why I don't have to
CA1 south.
Worry about the usual shit you worry about, electricity bills and fucking crap, and God, there's some hot woman in San Fran, isn't there? Yeah, that these people that argue with me, they don't have a pot to piss in their window to throw it out. It just really annoys me sometimes. It's like when I was growing up, and I still am growing up, and I think always will be, I'm sure, we're going down and losing a few centimeters in height because of my compression of my spine. I always listen to other people. You know, I do talk a lot. I won't deny that. But you know, as they say, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth for one reason. So, as much as people think I talk, and I do talk a lot, I can promise you, because I'm like Trump now, but I can promise you, I listen a lot more than I talk. So yeah, I talk a shitload, but I listen a shitload more. I'm always aware of what's going around me. You know, there's this type of what's it called? It's called when you perceive things around you. So I'm switched on to stuff around me, and I always advise when I'm mentoring some of my friends' kids and stuff. I always say, look, always listen to what's going on around you. If you're not the sort of person who needs to have attention brought to you, like for example, if you need to call someone's name, hey Jamie, yeah. Well, like my mum, for example, I can't just start talking. You can start generally, unless I'm really engrossed in something, you can start talking to me. So if you're, and I'll already be listening because I'm already aware of the things around me. I'm taking in everything around me. Some might call it being a nosy bastard, right? So if you're not that kind of person, you need to kind of train yourself to be that kind of person. Because there's so much information all the time coming in. I mean, this morning, for example, I listened to a tree fall. Right, this is actually quite an amazing story. I'm not religious, but I'm a pantheist. I do believe in God. I believe in the universe being God and us being part of it, right? And we're all just one big ecosystem, one massive universal ecosystem, right? And I think what happened this morning was serendipitous, to say the least. A tree fell down. I heard it. The guy in the car next to me, looking over the bridge, wondering why I was more free in San Francisco than I have been in Montana, and places that have got fucking millions of miles of space. And yet, you've got a cop coming up to you saying, "No, you can't park here, you can't stay here." And yet, here I am in San Fran, and it seems to be freer. It's weird. And yet, I can't have my guns, so I had to send my 15 round magazines back to Georgia. I've got a 22 glove box, so that's only got 10 rounds. But it has to be locked in a certain way. I don't mind that. Fucking, as long as I know the rules, it's fine. So, basically, the tree fell down. I went to the road. Another guy turned up just after me. I'm looking at this massive tree that fell across the road just above the Golden Gate Bridge. It's a lookout point where all the old battlement guns were to protect the bay. And this guy he was just sitting there on his phone, but he wasn't on the phone with the cops, so I called the cops. And then, next thing, he's still on his phone, and this guy with his dog in a Toyota Tacoma starts fucking driving towards this tree. The tree trunk's perpendicular right across the road. It's fucking huge. This thing would have basically decapitated the car, like as far as taking the top end would have slid right over. They would have been fucked, him and his dog. So, he was doing about 50, and I was like, stop, and just fogging him like that. He's like, oh my god, hurry, stop just before it. He goes, thank God. He says, fuck, I was just looking at my stereo, and he said, man, thanks so much. And then just that happened, shit, another guy is racing, not racing, probably only about 35, from the other direction, an Asian guy, and same thing, but he wouldn't have died, he would have just had a bad accident, he probably would have fucked up, the other guy would have died, and his dog. So I feel really good about that. It's been a really great day. Just off to pick up my friend at San Francisco Airport from New Zealand. Just off to discuss this ICO that we're launching. This is Pryvate. I mentioned it in another video. Pryvatcoin.io. So we're just doing the token documentation at the moment. I'm speaking to the CEO over in London. And that'll be on the website soon, but we've already got the white paper and the terms on there. Unlike most ICOs, we've got, I don't mean to plug the ICO for a second. Unlike most ICOs, we've actually got a product that's been in market for years. We've got the most secure messaging app in the world. It's messaging, voice, video, file transfer. Yeah, it does file transfer. It's 4,098-bit encryption. There's nothing that comes close to it. Some are about 512-bit encryption. This came out in 2015 at 4,098-bit encryption. It is the most secure messaging app in the world. It doesn't just do messaging, as I say. It's a platform for other things. So Jonathan, the CEO, he was. This is Cryptique's the company. Pryvate now is the app. Private Coin is the coin. He's a really good guy. I worked with him years ago. The guy knows C people, knows fucking sultans and princes and all sorts. I used to work with an Count Gottfried von Bismarck. He died a few years ago of AIDS, actually. But out of a guy who used to sit in front of me when I was 20 years old. I had all these shares in this company just before the fucking WorldCom collapse happened. My shares became worth nothing. I thought I was going to retire at 25. Anyway, on the story, I wanted to get back to what I was talking about. The media, what they're doing at the command of, it's a triangle. Media, government don't work for us. They're chosen. Effectively, if I want to have my favorite meals, let's say my favorite meal is chicken soup and pork Hawaiian, right? I will say, hey everyone, you got a choice. You can choose between pork Hawaiian or chicken soup. That's exactly how the governments of all the world are chosen. You think it's a fucking surprise or it's something profound that almost every country in this world has a choice of A or B, blue or red? No, it's not. And even in Britain, where the first past the post, completely undemocratic system that they have there, does take in a kind of, you have to kind of form a government if you don't have enough, because everyone hates the Tories and Labour so much that they can't even form a government now, so they have to kind of do what you get in other countries with the proportional representation system, where you form a government with another party, right? New Zealand has that, for example. Bit more democratic. They choose for us here the two different parties. So it doesn't matter if you vote GOP or DNC, you're still getting the same cunts, right? You're getting the Hillary people, and you're getting the Hillary and Obama. I mean, Obama was an okay guy, kind of socialist in his early days, kind of strangely changed his views, like he was under some mind control. Because I'll tell you what, the same kind of thing has happened on occasion with Trump. I mean, he was a fucking idiot. He was an idiot. How come he did so well in making such a fool of Hillary? How come his humour and wit was so sharp that he took over a $1 billion campaign, fucked it in the ass sideways? People, but he didn't get the popular vote. That's the system. He's the one that said it was rigged. And who laughed at him? Hillary and all their hillbots, right? And all us John McAfee supporters like me, and Bernie Sanders supporters and funders, I must have put a good $5,000 towards that campaign, somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 towards that campaign, because I can't vote in America. And I thought, I'll take a leaf off the GOP book. And a dollar is freedom of speech. That's just, what a fucking bullshit. I like what Bernie Sanders was saying. Remove money from politics. That's exactly what needs to happen all around the world. This is why the world's so fucked right now. That's why we're living in conditions that are crazy. We're living with the worst aspects of capitalism and the worst aspects, because I don't mind capitalism or socialism, because we need police force, we need fucking fire department. But we're living in the worst aspects of both capitalism, which is crony capitalism, and socialism, which is social irresponsibility. Right? Breed as much as you can, you fat fuck, and have as many kids as you can, you complete fucking genetic fucking... Just, I can't even describe. Genetic fuck-ups. Breeding more than... I don't want to sound like a eugenist here, but there's an element of truth to it. If you promote breeding of, let's say, those that would not be able to look after themselves, what you're really doing is you're promoting the breeding of people who rely on the government. That's exactly why these elements of socialism exist. Oh, don't do stuff. So first of all, they take away jobs, so that even people who come from a lower decile family, in time, it'll be ingrained in their DNA to be, what's the word? Subservient and codependent on the system that they live within. So what we end up having is people that are effectively created by a mixture of government and media. And that is what the world is full of now. And this is why there's so much idiocy. You ever wondered why stupidity seems to be growing? That's why. It's engineered. Why is it engineered? It's engineered so that people buy more Nike shoes, so that people vote for things that TV tells them to vote for, so that you end up having this pretend democracy. So, okay, we're nowhere near close to democracy, but let's say the pretend democracy that we do have, it can masquerade as democracy, because if you put enough money into programming the people with the media that you own, then just like in Africa years ago when I was a kid, I was watching the people who were going to vote for a Cat and Freedom Party, and they were asking, and here we are, BBC, the most fucking corrupt media in the world, reporting here live in Johannesburg, which we can now show in camera as the awesome city that it fucking was during apartheid, because they tried to pretend it was like a third world country. That's why BBC used to have the cameras pointing down all the time, and they would show Soweto instead of Johannesburg. And they say, here we are, and who are you voting for? Yes, the hippie. They show the dumbest guy from Soweto. And why are you happy? Yes, I'm happy. But yes, who are you voting for? Yes, happy. He's just a fucking total retard, right? And they were asking him why he was voting for Inkatha Freedom Party. I can just imagine South Africa would be a fucking mess. I mean, South Africa's a bit of a mess with the ANC already, but I mean, Nelson Mandela was a great guy. Thabo Mbeki and Zuma aren't, sorry. But he was. He knows he can't do anything to change things, so he was just doing the best he could, I think, Nelson Mandela. That's my parents voted for him. So basically, you program people with your media, and in their case, SABC, and there's a black channel called I think it's called. You program them with that. Luckily, ANC got in, not in Inkatha Freedom Party. But the same thing happened to her in the world. Yeah! Even my stepmom, it was so fucking disheartening the day she says, I have voted for Hillary. I'm voting for her, and she was all happy about it. I'm like, oh my god, we've been talking about Bernie, you've been smiling and laughing. There's no reason to even, you could have just said that all along, but to kind of lie to me in some ways, and then change your mind, not change your mind, and then let it be known that you're voting for Hillary. Yeah, as if she's going to do good for nurses and doctors. My stepmom works for hospitals. Just it's so kind of misguided, as many of us know. So that's what happens, man. People get programmed by the media, and then democracy, even if you were to have an actual structure that allows, let's say, for example, you had what I proposed years ago, telephony systems that would do votes for you, and votes would be published. So you wouldn't have your name, you'd have your IRS number, your IRD number, whatever you call it, whichever country. You'd have what you voted for every single election, so you could go back. You could say, hang on, why next to my IRD number, why has it got that I voted for Hillary when I voted for Bernie Sanders or John McAfee? And so therefore, everything would be transparent. It's kind of like the blockchain scenario. It's all transparency. And that's what evil hates. Evil cannot stand transparency. When everything's true and the snow melts and the lies are seen for what they are, that's what evil hides behind. I don't mean it to sound like a Charlie Church here, but we do have, that's what it really is, a constant battle in this world, just like Star Wars shows. It's a constant battle between good and evil. Good people have no reason to want to control to control people, but evil people do, and this is why, with the advent and increase in stupidity, and living in the prime time, or probably nearing the end of the age of stupid, I think. But the age of stupid, we went through it for a long time, the whole 90s. Political correctness coincided with the age of stupid. And what ended up happening was, well, you see what happened. We ushered in some of the worst fucking crimes the world has ever seen. The destruction of Libya, the destruction of Iraq. We have no business being in these fucking countries. We are only there because our corporations want the fucking oil. They only want the oil because our retarded governments want the money from those oil companies and believe that we had to keep things running straight, which is not, because we could have shifted over to alternative fuels, meaning the sun, eons ago. When I say eons ago, it's not the first time that good people were held back by, let's say, the FBI, people getting jailed because they had solutions for problems that would have actually fucked corporations up. This has been happening since before the days of Copernicus, who got burned for insinuating or telling us that the sun moved around, the Earth moved around the sun. You can bet this has been happening for millennia, right? We should have been in the stars fucking ages ago, and I think the only reason we possibly aren't is because if there are aliens, it would make sense the Prime Directive, which is mentioned in Star Trek, would exist, because you would think what you would probably do as an experienced culture with intelligence. One is intelligence pretty much breeds out in most cases, unless you have something fucking wrong with you. intelligence overcomes a lot of aspects of not evil but badness. True evil, okay, you're still going to get people who are an evil genius, right? But your average schmo, it's kind of hard to think bad thoughts when you don't have to. So robbing people, you don't have to rob anyone because the resources are infinite. So what happens is what we're going through right now. What we're going through right now is where the media are constantly lying to us about Bitcoin. Please stay out of Bitcoin. Oh, you don't want to go near that. Oh, look how it went down right now. It's just it's still, even when if it went to $5,000, it's still 5 times what it was 1 year earlier, and the US dollar is still 5 times less than it was in comparison, and which has already collapsed 7 years ago when Bitcoin overtook the US dollar. Right? That's the story. That's the narrative that's not being shared. It never will be until the banksters get all their money out. So that balance I was talking about before, even halfway through them taking their plunder, because it is plunder, and moving it into crypto, there still won't be liquidity because people who will want to be buying the US currency. That's the problem. When you're shifting, there's this paradigm shift that's going on. When the realization happens, what you'll have is a rapid, this is what I think John McAfee's alluding to mathematically. There'll be a rapid shift towards adoption of cryptocurrency, and you will get hyper-deflation. It will happen at a rate of knots. You will see a shift that will move somewhere in a range of $100,000 to millions, or even, believe it or not, billions of dollars worth. But then again, you need to remember, when that happens, the reason it will be billions of dollars worth, and that is because the dollar will be worth fucking nothing. So that value will be like the $1 trillion note we have in Zimbabwe right now, right? It doesn't mean that one Bitcoin will buy you a country, right? It means that one Bitcoin may be worth $1 trillion, but what it means is $1 trillion might be able to only buy you a house, like a modest house, right? That's the reality. So don't get too excited. I mean, get excited if you own Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin, but also the main ones, the Monero, Dash, LiteCoin. These are there to stay. There's no reason they have to go anywhere because nothing better is around. I personally believe that. Things like Ethereum, it will still have value. I think it will slow down so much with the use of that second-gen blockchain. I know that second-gen blockchains like Qtum and everything. I think they'll slow down so much that people will not want to use them for currency. I also believe that from a security aspect, they won't be trusted to be used for currency, to be a vehicle for currency. We already know with side chains and everything from atomic swap side chains and binary blockchains, that there's no reason you need to put everything in one blockchain. You can actually have them side by side. You can have them internetworking, as I said in the first video that I made. So what you will end up seeing, I think, is the privacy coins, and that might include Bitcoin and LiteCoin if the privacy functions of Lightning Network are utilized. The same can be said for Raiden Network as it was for Ethereum. But I just don't think there's any reason to share blockchains. It just makes sense to me. We don't have to. And it means you can focus on security. Another reason why I really think the governance, why Tony Vay's was name again, Roger Ver is wrong, is because the annoying governance that there is in Bitcoin is going to be a good thing overall, because you really want them to be over careful. You'd rather them be very slow to react than quick to react and make a fuck up they haven't thought of. You really want things to work that way. This is our currency we're talking about. Look at the fuck up we've had for the last few hundred years. You don't want to repeat that. So, and that happened because of things like Nixon taking away the gold standard, you know what I mean? And then allowing that dilution of the currency to make it be worth those fucking 4 cents. That's the value of the US dollar today. 4 cents. Probably worth 3 cents now, actually, because of the latest economic, what's it called again? raise the debt ceiling and basically produce new notes and dilute the currency even further. So don't believe the media. The media is your enemy. They are actually your enemy. I mean, the media is not. When I say the enemy, the media is the enemy. When I say the media, I mean the corporate media is the enemy of mankind. They're actually the most abhorrent creatures in this world, because they've allowed the sanctioned killing of millions of people in Libya, Iraq, fucking all over the world. Not to mention in the US, and think of all the people who committed suicide after losing their house after the economic collapse that the banksters didn't get punished for, except for Iceland. And then Iceland, all of a sudden it's off the media. Why? They decided to punish the banksters. As a result, they had the quickest economic recovery, 2010. So that was 2-year recession, whereas the rest of us most countries are still in recession now, for fuck's sakes. But most of them climbed out of recession. The earliest was about 2012, some were about 2015, and many are still going, right? You think of all those people that committed suicide because those cunt banksters, right? And those people are the very people that Obama, as much as you might love him, he defended those fuckers, right? Hillary Clinton is a complete shill. That woman should be fucking locked up. I don't mean it. I'm not just saying that because Trump says it. He's fucking right. I'm not to say he's the most, he's morally reprehensible as well. But I think he's at least a patriot. And I will remind people again and again and again, do not forget what that man did in one of his first months in term. He cancelled the TTIP and the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, of which there were protests all over the world. There were people getting battened by police all over the world because the corporations and Hillary Clinton and Obama and all the GOP, except for Trump, and all of the DNC wanted that shit to happen. That was the start of the unimmovable tyranny of the corporations. We would have been living in fucking concentration camps within decades if that had happened. Believe me, that would have fucking happened, right? Instead, Trump derailed it. And that's why they're so pissed off at him. He might get knocked off. I mean, there's a good chance he'll get killed. I mean, the same way with JFK. When you get people like Woodrow Wilson, I think it was, and President JFK, who try and wake people up to the actual reality that is around them. These people, the Illuminati and others like them, the powers that be, the people that are the elite that exist in every country, who basically can see they're above the clouds and say, "Oh, hey, other elite friend or sometimes enemy, what are you up to there? Oh, yeah, aren't these people below the clouds a bunch of fucking retards? Because yes, we fucking are, right? Wake the fuck up." They've been doing this for a long time, fucking us all over, and effectively spending the energy. That's what money is a token of energy. They've been spending the energy created by the rest of us. And that is why, if you ever wonder, oh, you're just out of the capitalist clique. No, I'm not. I'm anti-cunt. I'm anti the person who has 15,000 years worth of hard-working wealth. What it would take a hard-working and educated person thousands of years to create. These cunts get in a few short years because of their privilege. And I'm not talking about white privilege, because that does not exist, you fucking dumb racist assholes who say white privilege. It does not exist. There's no more a thing than brown privileges or black privilege. Those things, they all kind of do exist, but they exist, autonomously across everything, right? They are the elite of every single race. That's what it is. There's no white privilege. It is privilege. There's privileged people and there's non-privileged people, which is most of us, right? You can have semi-privileged like myself, who didn't come from a rich background, but my dad slaved his fucking ass off to make sure we didn't want for the necessities, not for everything, but the necessities. And we have an education and taught us the importance. But that's a great dad, right? his kind of fathering skills, the sort of skills that you put people in jail for in New Zealand and other countries we lived in. Oh, you can't slap your child or smack your kid in the hand or in the bum. I'm glad he did, because it was probably needed. Some kids can get away with it. My friend Brad, he was always arguing with my other friend Dean, the guy I'm picking up at the San Fran airport that I'm at right now. Because Dean smacked his kids, and they made a law in New Zealand. The guy got jailed because his child crossed the fucking road, and it's the second time he did it. He smacked her ass, went to jail. He said, I would do it again. All the PC brigade all up in arms. He said he'd do it again. He needed to be very jailed. Thank God, the age of stupid is coming to an end, because you can feel it. You can feel it's coming to an end. It's days, because it was always retarded, making us do retarded things all the time. How the fuck are we doing this, man? Well, that's right. That fucking weird person that doesn't have any rationale or logic, cannot understand things properly. So therefore, we're doing things their way, and their way. Thank God, it's coming to an end. I'm not saying I want a world where we smack and beat up kids. What I'm saying is, I want a world where if a kid is a naughty little cunt and there's no getting through to him, and the final thing is hitting, then that parent should not be put in jail for that kind of action. And we shouldn't fucking tell people how to parent outside of don't abuse your kids, don't fucking sexually or physically abuse them. Other than that, government, step the fuck back. Same as in so many other areas of life. That's why I understand what what we call Republicans go on about. They kind of mask. What people do is they align with things that they think people are on about. Oh, Republicans are on about, less government. Yeah, less government and fucking kids. We didn't say that. Hang on, we said we didn't say fucking kids thing. I'm talking about the Tory party in the UK because they're a bunch of fucking paedophiles. That's kind of what they do. They bring through their actual separate agenda, but they do so by aligning with a noble agenda, which is please give us less government and don't hire people for the sake of hiring them. Don't hire people to take away or to increase female empowerment or to lower black unemployment. Lower black unemployment by making sure people can be educated in black communities for free, so that if white people won't give them jobs in companies run by white people, that black people will have enough self-determination to actually start their own companies and hire their own people. That is how you sort these fucking things. That's how you remove the racism that appears to be in most countries, right? That's how you do it. Anyway, that's about it, other than the fact that I wanted to say continually ignore the mainstream media. Their only focus is to help the banks move their money in stealth into a market. So it will fluctuate up and down. So basically, their movement of money into the market will make it spike up. Then the media FUD will come in to bring it back down again so they can put more in. At the same time, that media FUD will be used to also further exacerbate the wage disparity, the wealth disparity, so that the weak hands will sell out and therefore lose money because they'll buy in high and sell low. So there's a multi-pronged approach here. Continuation of the same shit, wealth disparity. Haves and the have-nots continue to have more or less. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. The video is going to finish soon because it's getting to the maximum size. But yeah, do not believe the media. They are scum. They are cunts, and they will spell the end of mankind if you give them a fucking chance. See ya.